Hi there, I'm Noelle Cellini, personal stylist and style expert. In this issue of Noelle Says, we're addressing the question of what's the difference between a fad and a trend. So a fad is something that is really quick. By the time it makes it to the stores, which is usually kind of fast fashion a lot of the times, it's in and out, and you really have literally just like a few weeks to wear it. Versus a trend is something that has a little bit more roots than that. It usually is something that then we see kind of sometimes carried into, the next season and being altered, and a lot of times it can stick around for years and even decades. So an example of a fad would be something like from fall 2014 was the blanket coat. And I know that I may be talking to some people who are like, the blanket coat, what's that? I don't even remember that. And that's kind of the point. A fad is really that quick. It was something we saw in all the celebrities. We saw it like in People Magazine and Us Weekly wearing it. And it was really that quick, in and out. Whereas a trend would be something like gladiator sandals. So we're now in spring 2015, and gladiator sandals have been around for many seasons now, many springs and summers. But if we notice, and this is kind of what trends do, which is kind of nice, is that, like I said, they kind of are, take on a different form, and they're slightly altered each additional season. So now we're seeing them, and they extend all the way up to like the knee, whereas before they didn't come up that high. Something else would be the jumpsuit, and actually that's what I'm wearing here today. I was not really a big fan of the jumpsuit when it first came out. I really thought it was kind of a fad and it was gonna just come and go very quickly. I'm not a big fan of the 70s myself, but after a while I saw them and I started trying them on, and that, like I said, is a nice thing that you can find then one that you're kind of looking for because it's had some time to kind of, like I said, morph into a few other things. So for myself, I was able to look for one with sleeves. Yes, this is a dressy one. It does have lace and it does have like a cutout in the back. This is from BCBG. But what I really like about it is it does have a defined waist, so I can add a belt. But the leg on this is actually, it's a very narrow leg, and at the bottom it has a slit, which fits and falls very nicely over my just kind of very classic high shine patent pointy, leather pumps. Versus a lot of the other jumpsuits, especially when they first came out, that had a very wide, very 70s, full leg. And that to me is something that I know I don't really like on myself and isn't really flattering. So with that being said, like I said, how do we know when we should participate in something and when we shouldn't? Well, what we have to do is we have to kind of develop our filter. And what I would suggest, or how I would suggest doing this, would be to come up almost with like a mission statement for yourself. And this doesn't have to be the typical mission statement we think of when we think of big companies and it's this big long thing or this one sentence. I would say actually just make it like 3 words. And if 3 words are too much, then just choose 2. And the point of having this is that then when stuff comes out, whatever trend it may be, over the knee boots, gladiator sandals, capes or whatever, you can decide if it's for you, if it kind of matches and works with those words that you've picked. So to use myself as an example, again, I'm not somebody who's very sporty. So when we saw a lot of like mesh inspired things and neoprene stuff, I kind of know, doesn't work with the rest of the stuff I have in my wardrobe because it's not really me. Not that I can't buy a piece here or there to participate in it and it's fun. That's the great thing about fashion, is that we kind of get to play with and, go with how we're feeling that day or that week or whatever it may be. But again, sporty is not what I would use to describe me. Myself, I would probably use, sophisticated, elegant, not necessarily glamorous, but just very tailored. And so I like a lot of things, and you've probably seen me wear this before. I like the smoking, the tuxedo blazer. I like stuff that, like I said, is very fitted. And so, like a lot of times when things come out, like the Lily collection for Target, a lot of people ran in the store to get that. For me, it wasn't interesting because I wouldn't use the word like preppy to describe myself. I like pink and green. I just probably won't wear them, together or wear anything from that collection. So that's how you can kind of develop your filter and know when trends come out, whether you want to participate in 3 of them, all of them, or none of them. So hopefully that helps you and gives you some tips when you're kind of navigating the fashion world out there. If you have other questions, please submit them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what's causing you some fashion frustration and answer it in the next Noelle Says series. And if you like this video, please be sure to share it with your friends. And I'm also on all the other social media channels such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can sign up for my newsletter in the footer of my online style school, the Style Academy, to get all my exclusive tips that I don't share online, and the newsletter is also the first opportunity and chance that I share when I'm putting together a new trip, whether it's Paris, Milan, the one-day Chicago one, or a long weekend in New York, which is a great trip for girlfriends. So I will see you next time very soon, and thanks for watching.